Throw it up like a real G. Let me see your hands up if you feel me, yeah. Taking shots at the real.
October 1967, a Nigerian Navy armada under Navy Captain Soro leaves Bonny en route to Calabar. In the ships are heavily armed troops of the Federal Nigerian 3rd Commando Division commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Adenkule, the Black Scorpion. Operation Tiger Claw had begun. At the time, Calabar was part of Biafran and was defended by the Biafran 9th Battalion led by Major Ogbo Orji. In fact, his battalion was responsible for the defense of Biafra's entire southeast coastline, from Ikang on the Cameroon border to Opobo, 75 miles away on the Imo River basin. October 17, 1967. Biafran defenses on Calabar's beaches come under heavy Nigerian naval and aerial bombardment. Less than 24 hours later, the Nigerian 8th Battalion commanded by Major Ochefu disembarks from the NNS Lokoja and storms Calabar Cement Factory jetty. The small but stubborn Biafran resistance is quickly overwhelmed. Later, that same day, Major Ted Hammond's 33rd Battalion lands on Henshaw Town Beach. Among the troops is Colonel Adenkule, the division commander. Within days, the Nigerian army was in complete control of Ikang, Atimbo and Esugumbai beaches. Hand-to-hand fighting develops as federal troops roar into Calabar town on 3 fronts. Biafran commander Major Orji is seriously wounded and evacuated to Umuahia, while his outgunned and outnumbered troops retreat to new defensive positions around Hope Water Institute on the outskirts of Calabar. Lieutenant Colonel David Okafor, who replaced Major Orji, decides not to counterattack until Lieutenant Colonel Adigio's 7th Battalion arrived to reinforce him. However, the Biafran 7th Battalion had refused to go down to Calabar because their submachine guns had been withdrawn, and given to Biafran troops confronting Captain Mohammed Buhari's 2nd Battalion in the Kalagu sector near Enugu. Evidently, by the time the Biafran 7th Battalion finally accepted the bolt rifles they had been given as replacement, their spirits were low. Nor did sending Lieutenant Colonel Festus Akaga as brigade commander help things. When Colonel Akaga finally arrived, Nigerian armored vehicles to which the Biafrans had no answer were fanning forward on all fronts. At this point, Colonel Adigio of the Biafran 7th Battalion develops stomach ulcer and is replaced by Major Omerwa. Helpless against the unrelenting Federal 3rd Division onslaught, a desperate Colonel Akaga relays a desperate signal to Ojukwu, Commander for GOC. Situation this sector definitely out of hand, if not hopeless. Not a single round of ammunition held, while enemy pressure continues ceaselessly for the past 48 hours. We intend to stay on and make the supreme sacrifice. Please, help before it is too late. We who are about to die salute you. Faced with a catastrophic military debacle in the Calabar sector, Ojukwu throws in newly arrived white mercenaries. But the mercenaries came under endless artillery and aerial bombardment. They found themselves presiding over a procession of humiliation. After suffering unusually high casualties, the mercenaries retreat 50 miles up to Ikotopora. From there, most escaped Biafra, never to return. Weeks later, General Gowon would be received ceremoniously in Calabar to the accompaniment of the beats of the Ekpo masquerade. Ill-prepared, poorly led, and ill-equipped, Biafran units were thrust into battle one after the other, and one after the other they were crushed. With the loss of the battle for the Cross River region, Biafra had lost its only land route to the outside world. And because the Nigerian Navy controlled the seas, Biafra's only remaining contact point with the outside world was Port Harcourt Airport. Over in the Midwest, Colonel Murtala Mohammed's Nigerian 2nd Division, which had stopped the Biafran westward advance at Ore, rode on to Asaba on the banks of the river Niger. Now, Colonel Muritala Mohammed turns his eyes across the Niger at the priceless Biafran town of Onitsha, reputed as the largest market in Black Africa. The Biafran 11th Division under Colonel Conrad Nwawo was in charge of the defense of Onitsha. Colonel Conrad Nwawo had come into prominence when he escorted January 1966 coup leader Major Nzogwu on his last journey from Kaduna to Lagos. The Biafran 11th Division was made up of the 12th Battalion under Colonel Mike Ivenso. The 12th Battalion was responsible for the defense of the area from Ida in the north to Sugbe. The 18th Battalion under Major Nsudo was responsible for the defense of Onitsha town, while the 11th Battalion under Major Achuzie defended the river line from Ndoni to Atani. The beach itself was heavily mined by Biafrans, as well as being backed by anti-tank guns and machine guns. Because the Biafrans had detonated the multi-million pound Niger bridge, Colonel Muritala Mohammed was left with only two choices: to march north and cross the Niger at Ida in federal Nigerian controlled territory, as advised by army headquarters, or to carry out an amphibious attack across the Niger. But such was Colonel Muritala's prestige within the army that he could ignore army headquarters' advice. On the 4th of October, Muritala orders the artillery bombardment of Onitsha. Days later, Colonel Muritala personally leads a 10-boat armada towards Onitsha. The Biafrans resist stubbornly, but are forced to retreat in disarray. However, instead of pursuing the retreating Biafrans and occupying the town, the federal troops turned their energy on looting Onitsha market, then burning it to the ground. This gave the Biafrans time to reorganize and, of course, counterattack. Achuzie leads his men in a counterattack down New Market Road. While another pincer under Major Nsudo swings down Old Market Road. Muritala's troops on the Onitsha beachhead are totally routed. Undaunted, Colonel Muritala orders his troops under Captain Inyang Basi to cross the Niger into Onitsha. Again, he is defeated. Adamant, Colonel Muritala orders Lieutenant Colonel Alani Akinrinade to carry out a third assault across the Niger on Onitsha. For a third time, Achuzie's troops thwart the Nigerian attack. Only now did the folly of attacking Onitsha cross the Niger down on Muritala, and so Colonel Muritala Mohammed turned and headed north, then crossed the Niger at Ida. Colonel Muritala Mohammed's long march to Onitsha had begun. In December 1968, Colonel Muritala leads Captain Shehu Yaradua's 6th Brigade through Nsukka to Enugu, which had been captured by the young Major Theophilus Danjuma in the early stages of the Civil War. In early January, Lieutenant Colonel Murtala Mohammed launches a two-pronged attack, one down the Abi-Nibo axis and the other on the Agbo-Nkpologo axis. On the Nkpologo axis, a powerful Nigerian 2nd Division contingent engages Colonel Christian Ude's 53rd Brigade, reinforced by Captain Charles Leroy's mercenaries. On the Atani axis, Murtala's troops attack Colonel Mike Evenso's Biafran 12th Battalion, forcing the Biafrans to retreat to Ukpabi-Nibo. Inexorably, Colonel Murtala's formidable military machine rolled on, smashing through Biafran-made obstacles, including detonated bridges. A few weeks later, Captain Leroy, the French mercenary commander, is wounded and evacuated. Biafran 53rd Brigade troops panic and turn their weapons on their officers. Despite heavy casualties, in late January 1968, Murtala's troops storm into Udi, Colonel Ude's hometown. Within days after the capture of Udi, Murtala's troops capture Ozara, cutting off Colonel Frank Obiara's S Brigade and the Biafran 14th Battalion at Emene from the rest of Biafra. At this point, Ojukwu sacks Colonel Ude and replaces the S Brigade commander, Major Obiora, with Colonel Timothy Onwatuegu. Supported by artillery and aerial bombardment, Murtala's division rolled on. Umudim, Amokwe, Oji River, Agwob, Ugoba are all overrun. In the face of overwhelming pressure, Biafran troops withdraw from Oka town and take up defensive positions on the banks of the Ngene Ukwa River. On January 19, 1968, the Nigerian 2nd Division occupied Biafran Army Commander Major General Alexander Madiebo's hometown, Oka. The road to Onitsha was open. In the face of this impending disaster, Odumegwu Ojukwu replaces 11th Division Commander Colonel Conrad Nwao with the tough Lieutenant Colonel Joe Achuzia, Biafra's most gifted operations commander. His mission: to prevent Murtala's 2nd Division from capturing Onitsha at all costs. Every time Murtala's troops attacked, Achuzia's troops counterattacked. As a result, from late January up till mid-March 1968, Achuzia was able to hold the Nigerian 2nd Division around Dunukofia and Ifite-Ekpo, 14 miles from Onitsha. But the Biafrans from the beginning lacked the firepower and armored cars at Murtala's disposal. And even though Achuzia's troops made the Nigerian 2nd Division pay in blood every inch of land captured, inexorably, the Nigerian 2nd Division rolled on. Through Abagana, Ogidi, Nkpo, and finally Onitsha. The final battle of Onitsha would last 24 hours. For victory in the Nigerian Biafran war was to be determined not by willpower, but by firepower. Nigeria's Major Olorin would die in Onitsha. Defeated at Onitsha, the Biafran defenders of the town break into two. One group under Colonel Conrad Nwawo retreats south to Newi. The other, under Colonel Achuzie, marches to the Enugu-Onitsha road, where they lay ambush. Due to the speed with which Colonel Muitara had raced into Onitsha, he was obliged to leave his stores and other supplies behind. Now a 102 lorry convoy from Enugu was on its way to Onitsha to deliver those supplies. At Abagana, 6 miles from Onitsha, the convoy falls into Achuzie's ambush. A Biafran locally made rocket is fired at a tanker at the front of the convoy, igniting an explosion which engulfs 100 lorries behind it, devastating the entire convoy. Abagana, Abagana, Abagana. The Abagana ambush will be the greatest ambush of the Civil War. And so it was that Joe Achuzie became the Hannibal of Biafra. The tragic story of the Battle of Onitsha remains incomplete without mention of Operation Hiroshima. Since the beginning of the Civil War, there had been conflict between Biafran officers who had served the Nigerian army and white mercenaries hired by Biafra. To discredit the mercenaries, Biafran Army Commander Alexander Madiebo and Major General Philip Effiong convinced Ojukwu to force mercenary Commander Colonel Rolf Steiner to attack Onitsha through open terrain. As a result, against his will, Colonel Steiner moved his troops from their base at Madonna High School at Etiti near Umuahia and took up positions at Nkwele outside Onitsha. These were the men who had fought at Okunano, Fegi, Owaza, and Chokochu. They would die, they knew, but they believed their legend would remain. They did not know they were pawns in the trial of strength between their commanders. On the 15th of November, Steiner's commandos launched Operation Hiroshima, an attack on Onitsha across an open field. With neither air support nor natural obstacles to hide behind, Nigerian artillery and machine gun fire decimate the attacking Biafran commandos. Unknown in death, forgotten by history, this is the anonymity of sacrifice. 2 weeks later, Colonel Rolf Steiner was removed from his command and replaced by Colonel Conrad Nwawo, a former officer of the Nigerian army. but never again till the end of the war would the Nigerian 2nd Division's control of Onitsha ever be threatened. Within weeks, General Gowon was reviewing federal troops on an official visit to Enugu. Biafra had lost the war on the northern front forever. Following the defeat of the Biafran army in the Cross River region, the Biafrans regrouped the remnants of their troops into a Biafran 12th Division under Colonel Festus Zakaga. This 12th Division is divided into the 56th Brigade under Colonel Simon Uwakwe, based at Arochukwu, and the 58th Brigade commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Ifeanyi Anyebo, based at Uyo. At the beginning of March 1968, Oron and Etu beaches come under heavy federal aerial and naval bombardment. 9th of March, Major Ted Herman's 33rd Battalion fights its way into Allen's sawmills, then quickly overruns the town. Confused by the swiftness of the Nigerian advance, Lieutenant Colonel Ifeanyi Anyebo loses control of his troops. Consequently, hundreds of Biafran troops are cut off and forced to surrender when federal troops from Oron link up at Uyo with the Nigerian 16th and 17th Brigade from Itu. The 16th Brigade under Lieutenant Colonel Utuk and the 17th Brigade under Lieutenant Colonel Shande stormed through Eket, crossed the Imo River and occupied Opobo town. With the Biafrans in retreat, the Nigerian 15th Brigade, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Alani Akinrinade and based at Bonny, launches an attack on Port Harcourt. At the time, the entire Port Harcourt sector was defended by the Biafran 52nd Brigade under Lieutenant Colonel Ogbogu Kalu. After heavy fighting, Colonel Akinrinade's troops capture and dig in at One. This success would be short-lived. Major Giorgio Nobiato, the Italian-born Biafran mercenary, unexpectedly counterattacks, inflicting heavy casualties before forcing the Nigerian 15th Brigade out of One. Major Nobiato is subsequently killed during his bid to repulse Lieutenant Colonel Shande's 17th Brigade from Umuabai. The Nigerian 17th Brigade follows up its success by capturing Afam, whose power station provides most of Biafra's electricity. And so darkness fell on Biafra. The great 17th Brigade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Shande, would die later in action on the Aba front. At Bori, Colonel Opara's 14th Battalion panicked and retreated when they found themselves face to face with troops wearing the insignia of the 14th Brigade, leaving the way for Lieutenant Colonel Eromobo's Nigerian 14th Brigade to capture Bori. As Biafran lines in the Port Harcourt sector crumble, Okokondem appeals over Radio Biafra for the defense of the town.
The one wants Port Harcourt. He wants our oil wealth by all means and the supporters. but we cannot get it. Port Harcourt signifies our freedom. Port Harcourt signifies our resistance to barbarism, our faith in God, and our unflinching determination to survive.
Ojukwu replaces Colonel Ogbogu Kalu with the legendary Biafran commander, Lieutenant Colonel Joe Achuzia. Biafran resistance intensifies with the arrival of Achuzia. However, the Port Harcourt Biafran militia under Onwudiwe, after initially pushing back federal troops, comes under ferocious artillery bombardment. Unprepared, shell-shocked, they retreat from the Okrika front, and the town is overrun by the Nigerian 19th and 14th brigades. It was here at Okrika that Major Isaac Boro was killed. The battle for Port Harcourt was an unequal struggle. Biafran troops, armed mostly with bolt-action rifles with only 3 or 4 bullets, found themselves pitted against a federal Nigerian military machine with almost limitless firepower and artillery. Evidently, despite the fanatical tenacity of Achuzia's defense, the side with greater firepower was ultimately condemned to win. May 24th, 1968. Port Harcourt is subjected to extremely heavy naval and aerial bombardment. Battle rages on the outskirts of town. attempts by the inhabitants of Port Harcourt to flee the town are prevented by Colonel Achuzie. Achuzie is determined to transform the defense of Port Harcourt into a people's war, a fight to the last man. But by mid-May, Achuzie's troops had been forced out of most of Port Harcourt town. The airport and army barracks changed hands on several occasions. Eventually, though, federal troops captured them for good. After the bulk of his troops had retreated from Port Harcourt, Lieutenant Colonel Joe Achuzie, an engineer in Port Harcourt before the war, fought on until he narrowly escaped being run over by an armored car. Only then did he finally retreat to Igrita. The date was May 19th, 1968. Port Harcourt had fallen. Promoted to full colonel, Achuzie hands over command of the Biafran 52nd Brigade to Navy Captain Anuku, but not without a warning.
Not here doesn't mean that I'm here. Not here, because I'll be coming down. That nobody lets me down. Moreover, for those who already gave their life, I don't need to tell you that they all expect that we emerge victorious. As long as they want to system, they support the alternative thinking. If you continue fighting.
The 7th March 1969, Nigerian troops strike Biafran defenses at Amokwe and move towards Ozuakoli. A 480-man recruit battalion under Colonel Akaga, sent to stop the federal advance, engages the advancing Nigerian army at Ahaba and is instantly crushed. .450 men of the Biafran 8th Commando Brigade under Major Ananaba are thrown into the fray. Unstoppable, the Federal 82nd Battalion under Major Ibrahim Babangida pushes forward. They are supported by heavy aerial bombardment. Babangida's troops overrun Umuezike. Then on the 30th of March 1969, they capture Ozuakoli, a few miles from the Biafran capital, Umuahia. Because at this point in time, for most Biafrans, Umuahia, not merely Biafra's capital, but the embodiment of the life and death of Biafra, it was to be defended at all costs. So once again, as the fate of Biafra hung on a thread, the legendary Colonel Joe Eric Achuzia marched across country to Umuahia. Umuahia had become the rendezvous for most known Biafran commanders, including Lieutenant Colonel Timothy Onwategu, who turned up with troops of his strike brigade. On April 2nd, 1969, the Biafran army unleashes the might of its artillery at federal positions outside Umuahia. Achuzia pushes federal troops out of most of Ozuakoli. However, at Ozuakoli Bridge, federal troops regroup and halt the Biafran advance. The Federal 82nd Battalion counterattacks. However, its commander, Major Ibrahim Babangida, is wounded and evacuated. He is replaced by Major Maman Vatsa, who succeeds in forcing the Biafrans out of Ozuakoli. And so the Nigerian 1st Division turned the full might of its artillery on the Ozuakoli-Umuahia road. Because the Biafrans knew the Nigerian army traditionally advanced using main roads, the Ozuakoli-Umuahia road was heavily mined and backed up with obstacles, fell trees and ditches. An attempt by the Nigerian 25th Battalion to snatch Umuahia led to the Biafran decimation of the 25th Battalion. April 11, 1969, the Nigerian army calls in for air support. From Ozuakoli to Umuokpara and Emeke to Umuahia, a veritable tornado of bombs and fire ravaged Biafran control areas of the Umuahia sector. Using track tanks, the Nigerian 21st and 44th Battalions swing towards Umuahia through the forest, taking the Biafrans by surprise. Such was the surprise that when Colonel Asoya, the new Biafran commander of the Umuahia sector, went to check reports of a Nigerian advance across country, he found himself face to face with the advancing Nigerian army and no Biafran defenders. 48 hours later, the Nigerian army was in total control of Umuahia. The loss of Umuahia was destined not to be Biafra's fatal last blow. For at Owerri, Colonel Utuk's Nigerian 16th Brigade had been cut off from Colonel Adenkule's 3rd Division. The second in command, Major Ted Haman, had died in action. A concerted attack by Colonel Asoya's Biafran 60th Brigade, moving from the west, Major Igweze's 52nd Brigade from the north, and the 68th Battalion of Colonel Onwategu's Strike Brigade, moving from the east, forced Lieutenant Colonel Utuk to order his troops to fight their way out of the town. That same day, the Biafrans reoccupied Owerri. The capture of Owerri greatly overjoyed the inhabitants of the ever-decreasing enclave of Biafra. On Thanksgiving Day, 1st June 1969, Ojukwu proclaims the Ahira Declaration, a document which condemned corruption in Biafra, called for self-reliance, social justice, and loyalty to Biafra. Over in Federal Army Headquarters, Lagos, Chief of Army Staff Brigadier Hassan Katsina and General Gowon and others were putting finishing touches to plans for the final blow to the Biafran rebellion. On May 12, 1969, the competent Colonel Mohammed Shua is replaced by Colonel Bisala as commander of the Nigerian 1st Division. Colonel Murtala Mohammed is replaced by Colonel Jallo and commander of the Nigerian 2nd Division. And Colonel Benjamin Adinkule, the Black Scorpion, is replaced by Colonel Olusegun Obasanjo. Once again, the formidable military machine of federal Nigeria, now the largest in Black Africa, was on the move. On September 10, 1968, federal Nigerian troops commanded by Major Makanjuola land on the northern side of Oguta Lake. By sailing up the Orashi River to Oguta, Makanjuola's 15th Brigade had bypassed Lieutenant Colonel Asoya's Biafran 60th Brigade responsible for the defense of Oguta. The Nigerian 15th Brigade was therefore able to capture Oguta without much of a fight. This masterstroke suddenly put Nigerian troops within 6 miles of Uli Iyala airstrip, landlocked Biafra's only lifeline. Biafra was thrown into anxiety. Spirited attempts by Biafran troops to reorganize and counterattack were thwarted by incessant strafing and bombardment by the Nigerian Air Force. However, on September 12th, Biafra's most resourceful operational commander, the indomitable Colonel Joe Atuzie, arrives Oguta sector and takes over Biafran operations there. Assisted by Colonel Nwajai and Navy Captain Anuku, Atuzie's troops assault Oguta. The fighting is pitiless and fierce. In the end, the Biafran attack is repulsed. 4 days later, Atuzie's troops counterattacked, the ferocity inflicting heavy casualties on Major Makanjuola's brigade. And so 6 days after capturing, Nigerian 15th Brigade is forced to retreat from Oguta. Had the Nigerian High Command taken advantage of Major Makanjuola's smart move by giving him all the support possible, the Nigerian Civil War would have ended in September 1968. 1968, Nigerian 3rd Commando Division Commander Colonel Benjamin Adinkule, the Black Scorpion, orders the beginning of Operation OAU, the simultaneous capture of Owerri, Aba, and Umuahia. The Nigerian 15th Brigade, commanded by Major Yemi Alabi, and the 16th Brigade, commanded by Major Utuk, were charged with the responsibility to capture Owerri. On the 13th of September 1968, Biafran positions at Awara suddenly come under fierce artillery bombardment. At the time, Owerri was defended by Colonel Nwajei's Biafran 14th Division. Aza, Ohoba, Avu, Obinze, 4. On September 18, 1968, after a last stand at Owerri, Colonel Nwajei abandons Owerri and retreats to Ata, abandoning Owerri to Colonel Utuk's Nigerian 16th Brigade. At this point, Odumegu Ojukwu removes Colonel Nwajei from his command and replaces him with Colonel Ogbogu Kalu as commander of the Biafran 14th Division. Despite the change in command, Nigerian troops prevailed through Chokocho. Mbise was now open to attack. With federal troops only 1 mile from Inyogugu, Ojukwu replaces 63rd Brigade Commander Major Okilu with Mbise indigene, Lieutenant Colonel Lambert Ihan Ocho. Ojukwu then sends the following message to Colonel Ogbogu Kalu. Your role in the Port Harcourt disaster is still fresh in the minds of people. You will clear the enemy from Mbise within 24 hours or submit your resignation from the army. A few hours later, Ogbogu Kalu orders a Biafran counterattack, and so it was that, assisted by Obunigbe Mines, Ogbogu Kalu successfully halted the Federal Army advance on Inyogugu. Over in the Okugwe sector, the 5th, 21st, and 22nd Battalions of Colonel Mohammed Shua's Nigerian 1st Division, moving up the Oji Ogu Road, stormed Biafran 53rd Brigade along the river line at Agunta. After overrunning Biafran troops at Agunta, they swing forward on 2 fronts, Mbala on one axis and Obilagu Red Cross Airport on another axis. Due to the swiftness of the advance, Colonel Ude's 53rd Brigade retreats, abandoning the bulk of its equipment to federal troops. 21st of September, Obilago airstrip is captured by Nigerian 22nd and 44th Battalions. A spirited effort by Biafran commandos led by Colonel Atuzie aimed at clearing the airstrip is repulsed. On the 30th of September 1968, after smashing through Biafran defenses at Ngodo, then Ihube, the Nigerian 21st Battalion commanded by Captain Wushishi outflanked Colonel Conrad Nwawo's Biafran 13th Division and captures Okigwe town. Within 1 month, Biafra had lost Owerri, Okigwe, and Aba. However, by December 1968, the Nigerian 16th Division had virtually been surrounded by Biafran forces at Owerri. At 7 a.m. on December 5, 1968, Colonel Asoya's 60th Brigade goes on the attack. Ogbaku, Obudi, Obigwe, Uhoba are cleared. Mbirichi is captured by the Biafran 68th Battalion. Heavy fighting takes place at Avu and Obinze. Biafran attacks are followed by Nigerian counterattacks. On January 6, 1969, Obinze is recaptured by the Biafran. break the siege of Owerri, Nigerian 3rd Division Commander Colonel Benjamin Adenkule orders an offensive up from Port Harcourt. From Elele, the Nigerian army pushed northwards on the Omanelu-Umuakpo road and the Elele-Ubimini-Awara roads. By the end of March, the Nigerian army had overrun Umuakpo and Aza, 20 miles from Owerri. But because Adenkule's offensive was halted by the Biafran division in Owerri, was continuously under pressure. They were running out of food and ammunition, for airdrops by the Nigerian Air Force were ineffective. Swedish ace pilot Baron Carl Gustav von Rosen's Biafran baby fighter strafe the 16th Brigade and destroy oil depots. Still, the besieged 16th Brigade would not surrender. Second in command of the brigade, Major Ted Haman, had been killed in action. He was replaced by an equally competent officer, Captain Mohammed Buhari. Despite the siege, the Biafrans were unable to break the Nigerian 16th Brigade's defenses at Owerri. However, the redeployment of Colonel Achuzia to this front brings a change. Temporarily commanding Colonel Onwatuegu's S Division, Achuzia succeeds in breaking Nigerian defenses and captures Egbu town, bringing Biafran forces within a mile of the center of Owerri town. On the night of the 24th to the 25th April 1969, the 16th Division fought its way out of Owerri. Throughout the retreat, the Nigerian 16th Division was continuously ambushed by the Biafran. At Umuguma, Lieutenant Colonel Utup's men suffered heavy casualties. Still, the Nigerian 16th Brigade successfully fought on, breaking through Avu, before finally arriving Nigerian 3rd Division forward positions at Ohuba. With Major Toyo's 13th Brigade and Major Aliu's 18th Brigade having failed to capture Umuahia, the rebel Biafran capital, during Operation OAU, Nigerian 1st Division Commander Colonel Mohammed Shua decides to also take a try. His first sector, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Theophilus Danjuma, and composed of 4th, 21st, 25th, 44th, 83rd, and 82nd Battalions, is earmarked for the offensive. At the time, Umuahia was defended by Lieutenant Colonel Ohanehi's Biafran 13th Division, composed of the 64th and 55th Brigades. On the 27th of March 1969, a company of the Biafran 15th Division at Amokwe, near Okigwe, and the 55th Brigade at Owutu, near Afikpo, are suddenly attacked with overwhelming force. Piercing through a gap in the defenses between 54th and 55th Brigades, the Nigerian 1st Division troops bulldozed their way through Owutu, Nguzu, towards Ahaba. Alarmed by the swift Nigerian advance, all Biafran formations are ordered to send reinforcements for the defense of Umuahia, the Biafran capital. Before the Biafran reinforcements arrived, Major Ibrahim Babangida's 82nd Battalion had captured Uzuakoli. Colonel Joe Atuzie, the Hannibal of Biafra, is brought in to lead Biafran forces. April 1969, Biafran artillery opens up on federal Nigerian positions in Uzuakoli. The Nigerian army replies with self-propelled artillery guns. Artillery replies artillery. During the ferocious fighting that ensued, Nigerian 82nd Battalion Commander Major Ibrahim Babangida is wounded and evacuated. He is replaced by his second-in-command, Major Maman Vatsa, who counterattacks with armored cars and artillery. When the Nigerian 1st Division turns its long-range guns on Umuahia Road, the Biafrans reply detonating Obunigwe mines with devastating effect. At this point, the Nigerian army calls in for airstrikes. From April 11, 1969, the most effective and devastating use of air force was displayed. Nothing was spared. Massive and ferocious bombing transformed the route from Uzuakoli to Umuahia into a veritable tornado of fire. On the 19th of April, the Nigerian 21st and 44th Battalions broke through Biafran defenses outside Uzuakoli and occupied Ameke 6 miles from Umuahia. Because the road to Umuahia had been heavily mined and filled with obstacles, Nigerian 1st Division troops decided to storm across country using newly acquired tracked tanks. As such, Colonel Asoya, who had taken over from Colonel Onwatuego as commander of Biafran forces defending Umuahia, discovered too late there were no Biafran troops in place to stop the Nigerian army. On April 22, 1969, the Nigerian 21st Battalion occupied Umuahia. at Umuahia, the loss of Oguta and Owerri led to a decision to reactivate the Nigerian army. Accordingly,
the Americans? Certainly not. And I'm quite convinced they will soon, the evils there will also forget about it.
Colonel Bisala replaces Colonel Shua. Colonel Jaro replaces Colonel Muritala Mohammed. Colonel Obasanjo replaces Colonel Adenkuli. Knowing the Nigerian army vehicles could be bogged down in the rainy season and bustling from fresh supplies of French weapons, the Biafran army went on an all-out general offensive during the rainy season of 1969. Colonel Joe Eric Achuzie storms federal positions at oilmen at its headquarters in Oraifite, and it is discovered the Biafrans had killed 10 oilmen in the gun battle at Kwale. An attempt by the Biafran Special Task Force under Colonel Simon Uwakwe to recapture Abriba is brutally repulsed. Then, in June 1969, Colonel Tony Eze's 12th Battalion launches a surprise attack against the Nigerian 17th Division in the Aba sector. Striking through positions held by the Nigerian 105th and 106th Battalion, the Biafran 65th Brigade, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Omerua, backed by the Biafran 61st Brigade under Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Okeke, the Biafran stormed through Owaza oil fields, crossing the Port Harcourt-Aba road. Port Harcourt Road, Major Senator's Nigerian 12th Brigade would be encircled in Azumini. Then came the Nigerian 3rd Division counterattack led by Major Tomoye and Lieutenant Colonel Alani Akinade. Colonel Eze's Biafran 12th Division is repulsed with heavy losses, including armored cars. As the Biafrans retreat, they set ablaze over the oil fields. On October 18, 1969, Major Semedo's Nigerian 12th Brigade, which a few months before was nearly cut off at Azumini, assaults and captures the Azumini-Ogbonhill Road. After heavy fighting, capturing Colonel Eze's headquarters at Umo Aro, north of Okpo Junction.
15th October 1969, the 13th Brigade of Colonel Obasanjo's Nigerian 3rd Division crosses the Kwaibo River on the Kotapene-Aba Road. Ferocious offensive that ensued. The commander of the Nigerian 8th Battalion leading the advance on Aba Road is killed. Despite his death, the 13th Brigade links up with Major Isemede's 12th Brigade. The entire Central Anna has finally fallen into Nigerian government hands. Colonel Joe Atuzie and his troops were warming up for Operation Do or Die, the re-establishment of a corridor between Onitsha and Abagana, through which the rest of Biafra communicated with Lieutenant Colonel Akonobi's 57th Brigade at Otuocha, the largest food producing area still under Biafran control.
October 1960.
Like a real G. Let me see your hands up.